Hey y'all, I'm Leslie Hooper and welcome to my channel. Alongside me is the lovely.
Steph Miramontes.
Hey Steph, thanks for joining me. I wanted to do another reaction video today, this one in response to a girl posting on what appears to be her own YouTube channel talking about being a fat girl on Tinder. Now, I know through our clients and even through my own personal experience that online dating it's rough out there. And I feel like it's way worse nowadays than it was when I started online dating 20 years ago. So I'm curious to get her perspective. I know that our own clients oftentimes struggle to put themselves on the market, so to speak, until they feel like they have lost enough weight and they have this conditional way of viewing themselves and their body. And I will be good enough when I lose X amount of pounds. And so I'm just interested in getting this particular girl's experience. I think it'll resonate with some of our viewers here who might be in that position. Full transparency, have not watched the video yet, so we will be reacting for the first time together. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's give it a go.
So this video idea came to me because I was at work, and I don't even know how this came up, but it came up in conversation, and more than one person commented on it. So I was like, this seems like a problem that probably a lot of people have, but no one talks about because it's like low-key embarrassing. So I thought I would just come on here and talk about all of the embarrassing things for everyone else. So we live in a world where the majority of people use a lot of dating apps. Me personally, I'm a monster and I have 3 on my phone, mostly just for my pure amusement. But with these apps also come the need to have the perfect profile, because we all know that people are judging you based off of 200 words and 6 photos. To let you guys into my little world, I'm gonna pull up my Bumble profile, prepare for me to embarrass myself on the internet. Bumble's great because I get the ego boost of matching with people, but I never actually have to talk to them. I love it. So for my profile, I have a small bio. I have my Spotify. I got my Insta linked. Mostly I like my Instagram so they know I'm a crazy Disney person before actually getting into it, so they can decide if they're ready for me or not. But we have a photo of my face, another photo of my face. This is actually me using, as Vice would say, kitten fishing. This is like a 4-year-old photo of me. Another photo of me standing in Disneyland. Another photo of me in Disneyland. And then a photo of me, which you can tell is old because it's in an American Apparel change room and I have not worked there in 3 years. So this is the kind of thing that I put out to the internet, and how me posting things like really old photos like this of my body rolls into this, because this is gonna be about the struggles of being, and I say this word with quotes around it because I will define it in a second, so don't yell at me, a fat girl on Tinder or Bumble or whatever you choose to use. I don't necessarily think that I exude someone that is not small, which is honestly mostly because I'm like 4 feet tall. If you ever meet me, I'm a very short in stature human being. I am by no means in shape or thin or skinny or anything like that. I probably weigh at least 30 pounds more than you think I weigh. And because of this, you deal with the just deep-rooted fear of, one, putting anything involving your body out to the world, and 2, things like dating apps are terrifying just in case you put like good photos of you on there because you want to put your best self forward, and then you look nothing like that, and then people are pissed. Like I said, one of my coworkers said something along the lines of, I was on Tinder and I matched with someone and someone commented that I had no photos from below my waist, so they knew that I must be fat. Let's pause for a second and think about this. That sentence is a real thing that someone said to another human being. So yeah, that kind of made me start thinking about this, and I've always known that full body photos tend to get more like attention and views and all that bullshit. There are apps that like you can see where they like they liked a certain part of your profile or they like commented on a certain part of your profile. And by far the most comments I get are on the photo of me at work because I'm looking cute. I'm in like a low cut shirt. I have a top that's cinched around my waist. I was also like 30 to 40 pounds lighter then. It's fine. But then another coworker who was on, I think it was like an actual like online dating, not an app. On those, you can like usually write in your bio like athletic, normal, chubby. There's a list of things, and she was like, yeah, I went out with a guy, and I had on my profile that I wasn't like the thinnest person in the world, and he even was like, yeah, so I know in your profile that it said that you were like a little chubby, but like I didn't expect it to be this bad. I'm just gonna let that sink in for a minute. Another actual sentence that someone said to a human being. Yeah. I personally, as I said, I never talk to people. I'm that jerk that like ghosts before you even have met me because I am so insanely anxious about this concept and meeting someone and then being like, wow, you look fucking gross. And I know I'm not the only person who thinks this, so it's not just me. If you are one of these people, you're not alone. I feel like this as well. That is about it. That's all I wanted to say for this video.
Okay.
Adorable, first of all. I love her all right away. I just think that she's a lot of fun. And it just brings up so many questions for me. And full transparency, I got married when I was a toddler. I've been married forever. So don't listen to me about any dating advice. I strictly come onto this for moral support and a body image expertise perspective. So that's my own personal disclaimer. But my thought is I understand the social pressure to be thin. I understand why people think that's the way to be and that's the way to present, and through posing and filters and all the things we all try to manipulate. I shouldn't say we all, but the world tries to manipulate what they look like. They're like, that's a damn good photo. I'm about to post that. That's how they go. And somebody tags you in a candid photo and they're like, oh my God, I'm going to call that person and we are through. But first they need to take that photo down. I hate them. They're no longer my best friend. If they really cared about me, they would have asked me first. And you know what? Actually, if they were my friend, they would have just known I hated it. So I get it. I do. But then when I think about why you're on dating apps in the first place, I imagine it is to meet people, spend time with people who share your values, who you connect with, even if it isn't serious. It's just, even if you're just having fun. So why are we not being authentic and honest so we attract authentic and honest people? Are we afraid that we're going to attract what we don't like about ourselves? If I am someone who lives in a larger body and I'm on a dating app, do I self-loathe so much that I'm afraid I'm only going to attract people who also self-loathe and we're just going to self-loathe together? Like, why not just be honest and attract who you attract and see if there's a connection there? I'm curious.
I think you know the answer to that question.
I want to hear your perspective.
Look, I will say, as somebody who has used dating apps in the past, and when you've been dating for 30 years, like I have, you've seen and heard it all, or at least you feel like you have. And I will tell you, a lot of people use the apps not because there's an intention of meeting, but because they're validation seeking. She also is somebody who doesn't even bother to converse with the people who maybe she is interested in, but she's too in her shame to interact with them because she knows she's catfishing. Basically, her pictures are not an accurate representation. And I'm with you. Why not just be authentic? Let the chips fall where they may by posting photos. And if you go to a subreddit, dating over 30 or dating over 40, things of that nature, and people ask for profile reviews, they'll post a link to their profile and people critique it. And the comments are always, you have to have at least 2 full body shots. Most people are not going to take you seriously because of the very reason that she just said. Because most of us have been catfished. And for me, it hasn't really been so much about people's weight as much as it's been about height. Dudes be lying about their height. And I don't really care how tall you are. What I care about is that you lied to me up front. We're already starting off with a lie. Or lying about age is another really common one, especially for women that are in my age bracket, because we're damaged goods the older we get. But to answer your question, it's obviously self-esteem. She doesn't feel good enough, right? She doesn't even accept herself at her current size. So she doesn't think anybody else is going to accept her at her current size. So she still wants the attention. She still wants to know that she's desirable, but she's already reinforcing a belief that I'm not good enough. I'm not desirable at this size. And I can't imagine that's a fun way to spend your time. Personally, I don't get it.
As you say that, the thing that comes up for me, I don't know what the game plan is about the dudes lying about their height, because it's not, you're not going to get any taller. But I think for women in weight, I think they think if I post pictures of me when I was smaller, they can see my potential at least. I could get smaller. I could be more attractive. I'm not right now because I've been going through some shit or whatever. I gained weight, blah, blah, but I could lose the weight and then I could be good enough. So I'm just giving you a sample of potential, not reality. And that is such a damaging thing to do to yourself. It is so self-deprecating. It is sending this message that you are wrong, something is wrong with you. And I get it. Like maybe if you upload the pictures and you just think maybe I wouldn't get any matches, or I would only get matches. Something that I've heard a lot in fat acceptance communities and conversations around body image and with people is, I don't want to be anybody's kink. Like I don't want, and I've read, we talk about sex and body image in the Unstuff program. And I brought an article, a comment about an article about a fat sex worker and her talking about how men that hire her for conversations and things like that are very different than how they act around their friends and in public because of this social conditioning. And so there's a lot of shame around attraction and being attracted to women in larger bodies and how it's a kink and nobody wants to be their fetish and all of these kinds of things. So I understand that there are layers and layers and layers of social shame here. I just feel like that's workable. Like you can work through those layers of social shame and come to a place where you own your own self-esteem and build up your own self-concept, so that take it or leave it, man. Like, what is the end game here? Same thing with women in their age. What is the end game? You're going to be over here like, I'm 30 when you're 45 and you match up with some dude that wants kids and you're like, oh, just kidding. I'm premenopausal. I have no eggs left. Come on. There is a huge value disconnect here. And that's not going to work.
I'm fortunate that I have, but I credit that to using accurate photos of myself. And I intentionally do not use filtered photos, never have. I always post full body photos. Like I try to be as transparent as possible because I don't want to go through a situation where I meet somebody and they feel like I was not genuine or authentic or honest and transparent. And so I'm fortunate in that I've never met somebody and they immediately are like, you're not who you presented yourself as. That would be a really awkward conversation, I imagine. But I have read lots of stories about it, and people do feel duped and lied to, whether it's the age, the height, the weight, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you can't get on dating apps hoping that people are going to love you because you don't love yourself. And that's really what she's seeking, is somebody to pay attention to her, to make her feel good, to make her feel special. But no foundation of a relationship is ever going to last when you're leading with a lie. But I get the desire of validate me because I can't validate myself. Love me because I don't even like myself, really. And that's the part that's a bum deal for me watching her. It's like, I feel sad for her.
Yeah, I have a lot of compassion for her. And I will also just say that this is not exclusively a weight issue. You already mentioned the height for men, you mentioned the age for women in particular, but also there are a lot of women in smaller bodies, straight sized bodies that feel the exact same way.
Yes.
They feel disgusting and unworthy and unlovable and all of the things. And so there's no guarantee that even being in a smaller body is going to all of a sudden give you all the confidence to now engage with these people who, frankly, are shallow. Can you imagine losing your weight and being like, hey, baby, come back and get me now that I've dropped 20 pounds? Fuck you, man. No, you
Yeah.
are a shallow piece of shit. We don't want those people. And starting your life off with, there's nothing unsexier than a liar. That is unattractive. It is an unattractive quality to misrepresent who you are. And that's not just about weight and size and looks and things like that. That's breaking through the shallowness in order to start a relationship is already difficult enough.
Especially on dating apps, which of course are the most superficial
Right.
way to meet somebody, but it's efficient. And when you've been doing it long enough, I've gotten very good. My picker has gotten very good at identifying who I'm actually compatible with, because you learn how to ask better questions and you get a sense of who somebody really is and their character when you've been at it for a long time. And you also know what you're looking for and you're clear in articulating that, and they're on the same page, and then you're not wasting your time. But it is rough out there. And I think dating apps, yes, make things more efficient. I think it also makes it a lot more difficult to wade through all the bullshit. And there is a lot of bullshit out there. Like I said, now worse than ever. And I feel for people who are using them. That's why I just opted out. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather just meet somebody in the wild. It's exhausting.
I wonder if anybody does the opposite. Like they've lost weight, they're feeling better about themselves, and they post their old pictures and be like, let's see if we could like make sure we don't have any
reverse catfish.
Yeah. Yeah. They just post their pictures where they're just like, you know what? This is when I felt like I was at my worst. So let's just see if you can accept me that way. And then just like surprise or whatever.
Look, and some of those, you're searching people by the height and the age, right? And so that's why people select different heights and ages, because they want to get into the group, the more desirable group. Look, there's even a thing out there called hat fishing. Guys that are balding and they wear a hat in all of their photos because
Hat fishing. Stop it.
oh yeah,
The delusion in people's minds to say, I'm going to do these things. I'm going to manipulate your perception of reality straight out the gate and hope that I am charming enough that you won't care.
look, Steph, there's a lot of women who do not share that they have children either. And then guys are like, I don't really want to be in a relationship with somebody with small children. And as a matter of fact, that's how I feel. And I also met somebody who was not transparent about smoking. That shit pissed me off. And another one who was not transparent about having 3 small elementary age children. But I am saying there is a lot of dishonesty just to get through to the first date, because then they're hoping that they're just so charming and attractive that you're just going to see past all of your preferences, or your standards or your values are going to change, and they can just sweep you off your feet anyway. And you're going to overlook the fact that they lied or weren't fully transparent up front. But I will tell you, once again, nothing turns me off quicker than leading with manipulation.
Yeah. It just leans to the larger problem of social conditioning, what we believe to be valuable versus not. The fact that you would lie about having young children really makes me question how much you value being a father.
Parent.
Yeah. Of those children, or a parent, I guess it could go both ways, but in your case, the father. They're just so, the red flags are just a waving. just waving.
It's like this parade over here, honestly.
Yep, exactly. That's interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, if you are one of those people out there lying and scheming,
Stop it.
just knock it off. We know. If you're a seasoned online dater, then you really know. It's easy to see through that stuff very quickly, but work on your self-esteem and your standards. Any thoughts?
I think we did it today. Like I said, I have no experience in this realm. I'm way out of my element here, but when it comes to self-esteem and self-worth, hey, we got a program for that.
Body image issues, and if you want to lose weight without hating yourself, then make it a pleasurable ride so it's one and done. We're your gals. All right, that is it for us today. Thanks for hanging out. And if you enjoyed this video, if you have got your own online dating horror stories, drop them in the comments, y'all. Don't just allow me to air all my dirty laundry out by myself. I want to hear your lived experiences too. Be sure to hit the like button on your way out, and we will catch you on the next one.